Howdy ho, Stampers. Today I'm going to show you how to do the split negative technique. It's just a black and white card and it's very easy to do. So let's get started. First thing that you're going to do is you're going to take and you're going to have to stamp your design on two different pieces of cardstock. One black one and one white one. So on this one, what I did was I stamped the Versamark ink onto the black cardstock and used white embossing powder, and on this one I used white paper, black embossing powder with Versamark. So let me just show you real quick how I did that. I took my black paper and I added my Stamp-A-Majig because I wanted to be stamped on both of these pieces of paper in the same spot. Okay, so what I did was let me stick this under here so you can see this. All right, so what I did was I took my Stamp-A-Majig and I put it right here in the corner, and then what I did was I took my Beautifully Baroque stamp, inked it up with Versamark ink, and then I stamped this with my Stamp-A-Majig onto my cardstock. And then what I did was I took my white embossing powder and put my white embossing powder on here, and then I heated it. And then what I came up with were these two images. Okay, again, you're going to do the black embossing powder on the white paper and you're going to do the white embossing powder on the black paper. Okay, so now that we have these, we have to take and we have to split them, just like we did on both of these cards. They're split, so I can use one on one card and one on the other card. So let me just take my new rotary cutter, and I like to cut them both together so that I know that they're going to be exactly the same. Now these pieces of cardstock started out at 3.5 by 4.5, and I'm going to cut them at 1 3/4, which is exactly half. Okay, and they should be split right down the middle. The nice thing about the new rotary cutter is that you can keep cutting it and it won't move, and it'll cut through all the layers. Okay, so new rotary cutter, great cutter. It should be in everybody's home at this time. Alrighty, so now I have my white card cut in half and my black card cut in half. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to piece them together. So this one's going to go with this one. And because I used my Stamp-A-Majig, they're stamped in the exact same spot. And then I'm going to put these two together. Okay, so now for my layering techniques, let's start with this one right here. So what I'm going to do first is I have my card base, and that is just a regular 4 1/4 by 11 inch piece of cardstock folded in half. I'm going to add to that my gray piece. So I'm just going to add that to the card. And then I'm going to take both of these, and this is the simple version of it. You just take and add the two pieces together, and you just basically center them just like you would anything else. I don't put them down real tight until I know I'm going to get them even. Okay, so we're just going to take and we're going to put those two down together. Okay, and then you have your card that looks like this. Okay. For the other version, what I did, that's this version right here, I stamped my background stamp with the new stamp set called World Map, and that is available now. I stamped my background with that, and then what I did was I cut this in half just like I did my original one. Okay, so I have those pieces right here, but I also have to cut my two layering pieces, and this one's just a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to take my cutter again. I'm going to cut them both together. Now these started out at 3 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I'm going to cut them in half, which is 1 7/8. So I'm just going to cut them right here at 1 7/8. Again, cutting them both together so that they're both the exact same size. Okay, and you can do that with the rotary cutter. Now I just take just a little scrap piece of paper. It's not even the full size. It's just a scrap piece of paper, and I like to use that as my my base so that these two aren't just flopping around anywhere. And I just kind of put them together. It doesn't have to be anything. This isn't rocket science. You just have to just stick them together. Okay, so I have my piece of cardstock just like this, and the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to layer these two pieces on here just like I did on the other one, And when you go to do that, okay, we're going to just layer those. Now you see you have your black and white on the background, you have your black and white stamped piece, and then that is just going to go onto your cardstock, or your base card, and this is what you have when you're done. Just like that. And that's all there is to it. It's really not hard. It's a lot of fun, and it's very, very striking for a card. I hope you enjoyed my post, and come back often. Thank you. Have a good day.